So picture this. You're in a war against monsters, but you're accused of protecting one. What happens then? Well, today, we're jumping right into a trial that puts the very soul of the Demon Slayer core on the line. A trial where one boy's love for his sister might just get them both killed.
And it all kicks off with this single, absolutely chilling command. Imagine you're Tanjiro Kamado. You're on the ground, helpless, and you're staring up at the most powerful warriors in your entire organization. And the one they've come for, the reason for all this, it's your own sister.
Right. So that's the real question at the heart of it all. How do they possibly get out of this? Because, this isn't just some simple trial for breaking a rule. No way. This is a massive clash of ideals, of family loyalty versus duty, all set against the backdrop of this brutal, centuries-long war. I mean, the stakes, they literally could not be higher.
Okay, let's get into it. To really get how serious this is, you gotta know the Demon Slayer Core's #1 unbreakable rule. You do not team up with a demon. Period. It's a capital offense. And Tanjiro, well, he hasn't just teamed up with one. He travels with one, he protects her, he fights alongside her. He's on trial for his life in front of the most dangerous court you can possibly imagine. So who is this court, exactly? They're called the Hashira. And believe me, these aren't your typical judges in robes. No, these are the 9 most powerful, most elite warriors in the entire Demon Slayer Corps. Every single one of them has done the impossible. They've personally taken down one of the 12 Kizuki. The 12 strongest demons out there, basically the final bosses of the demon world. These guys are living legends, forged in fire and pain, and they have absolutely zero tolerance for weakness, and even less for demons.
And yet, facing this literal wall of absolute power, Tanjiro makes this desperate plea. He's yelling, "She's my sister. Nezuko is different." He swears that even though she's a demon, she has never, ever hurt a human. But you have to see it from their side. To the Hashira, who've probably lost everyone they ever loved to these monsters, his words just sound naive. Honestly, probably a little insulting.
And the Hashira's reaction? Ugh, it's brutal. And it's immediate. There's no discussion, there's zero sympathy. You've got the Sound Hashira talking about how a flamboyant execution would be cool. The Stone Hashira is just lamenting how pitifully weak Tanjiro is. And the Serpent Hashira? He doesn't even talk. He just viciously pins Tanjiro to the ground. As far as they're concerned, the verdict's already in. It's guilty. Case closed.
All right, Section 2, the test of blood. A demon's instinct versus a brother's faith. See, a verdict based on just, their opinion isn't quite enough. So the trial moves into its next phase, a very practical and frankly horrifying test. The real question is this: can a demon's most basic primal instinct, that hunger for human blood, actually be beaten by willpower and a brother's faith?
And that's the whole problem, right? How do you prove something won't happen? How can you possibly demonstrate that a creature of pure instinct won't follow that instinct? You can't just ask it nicely. No, you have to force the issue. You have to create a situation where it has no choice but to show its true nature.
So, the most aggressive of the Hashira, the Wind Hashira, he decides to take matters into his own hands. And it all goes down in 3 super tense steps. First, the provocation. He literally stabs Nezuko right through her box, then slices his own arm open. Then comes the temptation. He dangles his bloody arm right in front of her face, taunting her. Everything, the entire fate of this war kind of hangs on this one moment. And then, the defiance. Nezuko, you can see her struggling, she's sweating, and she turns her head away in disgust.
Okay, so Section 3, a master's surprising verdict. And this is perfectly timed, because just as that tension is about to snap, the true leader of the Demon Slayer Corps arrives on the scene, Oyakata-sama, the master. And the second he appears, everyone just goes silent. The aggressive Hashira, all of them. His word, it's absolute law.
The result comes in and it's simple, it's direct. Confirmed. The girl turned her face away. The test is over. The proof is right there for everyone to see. Even after being stabbed, even after being taunted with that rare blood, she refused.
And with just that one confirmation, the master delivers his final verdict. His voice is so calm, so gentle, it just completely cuts through all the anger and hostility from before. Where the Hashira saw a monster, he sees the proof he needed. And for him, that's it. Case closed. The trial is over.
But hang on, the ruling isn't quite that simple. It kinda has two parts to it. On one hand, you've got the pardon. Oyakata-sama makes it official. Tanjiro and Nezuko are accepted into the core, so their lives are spared. Whew. But then there's the condition. See, just surviving isn't gonna cut it. Now they have to prove that they can actually be useful in the war.
And that brings us to our next section, the path to acceptance. A new mission, an impossible goal. Because this decision completely shifts the story, right? It's no longer a trial for their lives. Now, it's a quest for their honor. I mean, getting the master's pardon is one thing, but earning the respect of the Hashira, the same people who wanted them dead just a few minutes ago, that's a whole other ballgame.
And the goal he sets for them is, well, it's staggering. To prove themselves, they have to go out and defeat one of the 12 Kizuki. Let me just remind you, these are the exact same demons you have to kill just to have a shot at becoming a Hashira. So for a low-ranking Slayer and a sister, this is a near impossible task.
So what's Tanjiro's response to this impossible mission? Does he back down? Nope. He doesn't just accept the challenge, he raises the stakes himself. He declares that he and Nezuko won't just kill one of the 12. They're going to be the ones to defeat the Demon King himself, Muzan Kibitsuchi. It's this moment of just incredible, maybe even naive, boldness that leaves every single Hashira completely stunned and speechless.
All right, next up, the Hashira's grave concerns, a war council for a waning force. So, after Tanjiro is sent away, the whole focus of the meeting shifts, and it turns out his trial was really just a symptom of a much, much bigger problem. The Hashira and their master get down to business holding a war council to talk about the really grim state of their organization.
And at this council, they're facing two really terrible truths. First, the quality of new demon slayers is just plummeting. They're actually described as almost useless, so that's bad. Second, their main enemy, Muzan, is getting way more cunning, using all these diversions to hide where he is. Think about that. The core is getting weaker at the exact same time its enemy is getting smarter. That's a recipe for disaster.
But even with all this bad news, Oyakata-sama offers this beacon of hope. He looks at his Hashira, who he calls his children, and tells them that he truly believes they are the single finest group of elites to be assembled since the very first breathing styles were created. His faith in them, right now, is absolute.
And that brings us all the way back around to the final lingering question, doesn't it? You have an organization that's stretched to its absolute breaking point, fighting what looks like a losing battle against a smarter, stronger enemy. So, what difference can one ridiculously determined boy and his one-of-a-kind demon sister really make in all this? Are they just some weird anomaly that should be thrown away? Or could they actually be the key to finally breaking this endless chain of sorrow?